AMENDS delegates, fellows, staff, and dear guest, Bani Tambash. That's good morning in Kurdish. My name is Hezha, and I wish I could tell you that I'm the first female president of my country, but for now, I'm a social entrepreneur and international NGO consultant. I spent my entire college life designing projects and writing proposals in class because I simply hated engineering. I just wanted to be involved in the civil society. But it all paid off with my positive change and positive impact in the community, and recently being selected as one of the peer mentors for the International Youth Assembly at the United Nations headquarters. That's funny because my country is not recognized by the UNHQ, but never mind. I started this career when I was 17 years old after my participation in the Iraqi Young Leaders Exchange Program. That's intensive 4 weeks leadership training for outstanding youth to become future leaders. And after my participation in the program, I started volunteering for international organizations on different projects. And that helped me gain a lot of professional skills, and eventually I was able to launch my own initiatives. And I started with Vocational Training Center for People with Disabilities. That was around for a year and then failed, becoming the first president of the US Exchange Programs Alumni Association. We implemented few pilot projects, and then I was like, I will leave the chair for somebody else to lead, and I will start another initiatives. Establishing a branch of the US-based Unspoken Smiles Foundation for Oral Hygiene, and within the first 6 months, we will able to target 2,000 kids in the refugee camps and the host community as well. But among all the initiatives, my main pride is the American Private Center for Youth Empowerment. And the story behind it is very simple and straightforward. I was inspired by my own initiatives. I was inspired by the opportunities that would knock on my door. And I thought to myself, what if everybody had access to quality education and could speak English? Because English is gold in Kurdistan. So I established the American Private Center for Youth Empowerment in 2012, which provides quality education and English language training for economically disadvantaged teenagers for either completely free or only a registration fee that's below $10. Our services, personal development, career development, teaching English as a second language, involving them in international cultural activities to help them become global citizens, and encourage them to become social entrepreneurs. And do you know what else I do? I make sure they don't end up studying something they hate in university like I did. The APC was also granted the English Access Micro Scholarship Program funded by the US government, which is basically a English learning program for economically disadvantaged teenagers in developing countries. And this is a picture of my students graduating. Spelling bee. So after having all these students coming in and going through personal development trainings, they would then come up with their own initiatives and bring it inside their organizations. And Spelling Bee is one of them. My graduates and students established or organized the very first Spelling Bee competition in Suleimania. Other examples are advocacy campaigns to stand against stereotypes, support gender equality, and call for quality education. And guess what? 2 of my students actually made it to the Iraqi Young Leaders Exchange Program, which was the initial project that made me started with this entire thing. So that's an indicator for me, and I'm very proud of it. So the thing with being a young leader is that their success stories become your success story, and you grow with your participants. And you are able to take your initiatives to an international level and be in the room with other change makers like today in AMENDS. Going international and working, especially on the Sustainable Development Goals, helped me partner up with many other youth-led organizations around the world. And I no longer felt like I belonged to one specific country or that I want to work on one specific cause, because I was a global citizen now. And working on an international level made me realize that every country has its own struggles. Human rights are being violated every single day around the globe, and it happened here in Great Britain yesterday with one of our fellows. People are being victimized due to their belief, gender, ethnicity, and ideology. And there are a lot of people who are under the threat of being deported in areas under the threat of war, and we have a huge number of refugees and internally displaced people, which is why we came up with the idea of Volunteers Ambassadors Initiative. Our aim is to establish a global network of volunteer ambassadors that stand against these human rights violations and crimes against humanity. We raise awareness and we deliver services to victims of war and terror. Now, I want to use this opportunity to invite you all to become ambassadors with us, and more about this initiative is yet to come in the future. But remember, you and everyone around you only has one life to live, and as you try to make the best out of it, make sure no one is left behind. And thank you so much.